Hi, my name is Elle, and I'm the artist and designer behind Chaos Kittens and Crafting. Welcome to my cross-stitch tutorial series. I refer to cross-stitching as a choose-your-own-adventure craft, which means that there are a bunch of different ways to do every step of the process. And with that in mind, I am going to be teaching several different ways to do each of the steps so that you can try different things out and see what works best for you and for the project that you're working on. I will be starting this series with videos showing the absolute basics of cross-stitch to get everyone started on making their very first piece. From there, I'm going to branch out and cover more intermediate and advanced skills as you gain confidence in your stitching. This tutorial series is put together with three types of stitchers in mind. The first is the absolute beginner. You've never done any kind of needlecraft before, and you need someone to hold your hand and walk you through step by step the whole process from beginning to end. So I'm going to be starting the series with simple techniques so that you can get started on your first piece right away. This series is also for intermediate stitchers. You already know the basics, you've made a few pieces, maybe you've been stitching for a few years now, but you find that there are some parts of the process that you don't enjoy as much, or maybe you want to tackle a project where your normal process wouldn't work very well. Either way, you want to expand your toolbox of cross-stitching skills so that you can play around and figure out your favorite techniques, as well as maybe have some new different skills to match to different sorts of projects. And lastly, this series is also for advanced stitchers. You've been stitching for years, you probably have a pretty well-stocked toolbox of skills, but you believe in continuing to grow and learn within your craft. So even if you already know how you would tackle any sort of project, you still love learning and developing new skills. Whether or not the new techniques are going to be a new favorite or one you'll never touch again, you still love getting to try new things out. I will admit that I definitely fall into this last category. So a little bit about me. I have been stitching for about 25 years now, and I love to try out new techniques, products, and methods of stitching. My goal throughout this series will be to teach you different skills, discuss the pros and cons of each technique, along with the types of project that each technique may be more or less suitable for. With that out of the way, there are a couple things that I want to address up front. And the first is this: I want my channel to be open and friendly to all cross-stitchers that are here to learn, grow, and find community. I am not going to be tolerant of telling people that how they are stitching is wrong or bad or improper. In the past, there were certain things that were considered, good form or the proper way to stitch. And there are definitely still people within the cross-stitching community at large that hold those beliefs very closely. So if you are somebody who wants to come into this little corner of the internet and attempt to shame anyone for how they are stitching or for what their finished project looks like because it isn't up to your standard, you can see yourself out right now. I cannot emphasize enough how much I have grown in the last 25 years of stitching. And if I had tried to find community back then only to be confronted by the types of comments that people leave me now when I'm a professional and this is my actual job that, I make money doing, I never would have stuck with it. So I'm not going to be tolerant of that kind of behavior in this space. Piggybacking off of that, like I said before, I view cross-stitch as a choose-your-own-adventure craft. That means that what works best for me may not be what works best for you, and that's okay. I often tie knots on the back of my projects. Shocking, I know. But I'm also going to teach you how to do that in case you'd like to do it too. I'm also going to teach you other ways to start and end your piece of floss. So like I said, you have a more expanded toolbox of skills that you can use. And I will talk about when and where tying knots is totally fine and where you might want to do it or where you might not want to do it rather, because it's going to be more visible or, it's going to be more noticeable, things like that. At the end of the day, though, if you like your finished project, that is the only thing that matters. The last thing I want to say is also related to this whole idea, and that is, what does the back of your project look like? I'm going to say right here and now, I don't care, and neither should anyone else. This is a question I get quite frequently, and while I'm not at all embarrassed to show off the backs of my projects, and I will often show them off, I've learned that this is a frequently asked question usually by bad faith actors who are trying to gatekeep and or shame people for not stitching properly, or to make themselves feel better about their own stitching. Now, this is not always the case. Some people genuinely want to see what the back of a project looks like because they can look really, really cool. But if someone that I've never interacted with starts a conversation by asking what the back of a piece that I'm working on looks like, my little warning radar kind of goes off to keep an eye on how they respond and how they continue to interact within the space. Just because I have seen that as sort of the gateway into that type of behavior. With that in mind, my response to what does the back of your project look like is what your back looks like is between you and whatever God you pray to. If someone wants to see your back, they better be asking for consent. And if you don't want anyone to see your back, I will absolutely be teaching you a backing method that will cover it up so that no one can see it ever. Bonus, it's also a really professional looking finish that is perfect for projects that you're gifting to someone else. So with all of that said, I want to thank you for being here. I'm really excited to get started with this cross stitch tutorial series. Please note that I have run this series before over on TikTok. So if you are looking to, speed run through the videos and whatnot, I do have a tutorial playlist on TikTok as well as here on YouTube in the vertical format. So part of what I am doing is I am redoing all of those videos in the horizontal YouTube friendly format. And also that's going to give me a little bit more time and space to talk more and to go a little bit slower through the different techniques. I originally started that series back when TikTok was limiting videos to the 1 to 3 minute mark. So some of my videos are under a minute long, some of them are in the 1 to 3 minute range because that's what TikTok allowed back when I was originally making this tutorial series. So now I will be able to slow down a little bit, show you guys really thoroughly every single step of these different processes, and go from there. So that's where we're headed. So I'm really excited to have you guys here. Thank you for tagging along and welcome to the chaos.